Hi there, I'm Tom.
I'm Brittany.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And welcome as we go on an adventure at Chain Lake State Park in Albion, Indiana, where we attempt to go about 20 miles on some hiking trails and had a great time doing it, so please join us on our adventure. Here we start. Trail 11 ends at a Rayleigh campground, 4.4 miles away. You can see here we're starting at a really nice parking lot. We're at the Stanley Schoolhouse, like we said. Some vault toilets and generous parking down here with some picnic benches and whatnot. So here we go. So here, as you start Trail 11, you walk around what is a butterfly meadow. So all sorts of things out there. Really gorgeous day. It's September 28th, 2025. Supposed to be 88 degrees outside today. Really a perfect day to get out on the trail. So you found us here again on another Indiana trail. Like we said, we are at Chain Lake State Park in Albion, Indiana. This is just north of Churubusco, Indiana, a little bit. Really well known for the chain of lakes. There's a series of lakes that are interconnected by channels. A lot of camping goes on here. Some very nice campgrounds that we'll show you later today. But our task today is to go around all the trails. Started on Trail 11 and hike as many as we can to go around the whole park and eventually end back up hopefully around the 20-mile mark. So really glad you're joining us today. Again, beautiful day for this. Couldn't ask for better weather. Maybe drier socks, but can't ask for better weather. So, okay, trail conditions so far on Trail 11. As you can see, primarily just a grass path that's 8 to 10 feet wide. Looks like it's just a hiking trail so far. Not seeing anything else. Really cool tree in here.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, nice conditions so far on these trails. Looks well manicured. All right. How nice is it to have a well-marked trail telling you which way to go? Indiana Trail 100, Chain Lake State Park, Albion, Indiana. All right, here's Trail 11. We're continuing on. So we're out here today, not going to be breaking any records because yesterday, September 27th, we ran that Fort for Fitness 10K, where Brittany smoked the competition in her age group, getting second in that 10K. So
you got fourth.
I got fourth. So yes, I was
However,
4 back from winning. But
however, he was also number 57 out of 824.
well, that's not terrible for a guy with some bad knees and a bad back. So, but no, Brittany with an incredible time smoking her competition. That's the real thing here. But we're out here really enjoying the day. But no, not going too ultra fast. So, all right, we are about 1.5 miles in so far. Came across this little bridge, and boy, it is dry. I think the last time we were here, there was some water flowing through here, but it hasn't rained in Indiana almost for several months. Nothing that's quite recordable. So, all the creeks are pretty dry, but pretty nonetheless. So, down the trail. Okay, about 3 miles in. And so far, you just skirt the north part of the trail. There's a lot of private property on the north side here. Chain of Lakes State Park. And yeah, very calm, quiet day. All you hear is birds, crickets, things like that. So really peaceful and relaxing out here today. Coming along towards the road here. Folks coming into the park to enjoy the day. We got some folks that have enjoyed it and heading out. All right, here we are crossing over the road, the entrance to the park. You see the guard shack here. That's towards the east, going towards all the campgrounds and all that. So Trail 11 just crosses right on over. Continuing us on this hiking adventure today. Trail 11 changes once you cross over the road a little bit. Gets a little narrower. Quite a few more pines and not so many hardwoods in here, so a little more intimate. A little welcome change about 3.5 miles in. Get the smell of all these pines, the soft pine needles on the ground.
So many birds.
Yes, so many birds out here all morning. So many birds. So yeah, definitely changes a little bit once you cross over the road from the north to the south. So today, if you're curious of what we're doing, on all trails, it's called the Chain of Lakes State Park Big Loop, and it really tries to hit as many of the trails as it can without doubling back on some. So yeah, we're going to see how this is, and by the end of the video we will kind of let you know what we think. But so far it's been very easy. A lot of these trails are very well marked. It's very obvious where you're going. Clear departure from some of the other parks we've been to recently. So good job to whoever's done that. So yeah, we're moving on.
Look at these. There's like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
It's like a little trail.
Trail of mushrooms. You don't see that all the time. All right. Well, let's continue down. All right. We are 4.4 miles in per the Garmin, and sure enough, Trail 11 and the schoolhouse where we just came from. So looks like you have a drive down here if you're coming for these youth tent campsites. Let's continue down here and check them out. All right, down here at these youth campsites, got some toilets down here. You can see down the way, down this gravel road, you got some folks camping down there. Rattly campers only. Here's folks. Now you got some trails in through here. What looks like a water hydrant here. Trail 4 to Sand Lake down that way. We're not going there. We're going Trail 4 right here. Go continue east. So Trail 4 right in the woods. really come upon some really cool looking trees in through this trail. It's like some big oak trees in through here. Down mixed amongst, got some pines. Just a really cool looking area. So we've made our way from basically the east side of the park over to the west, and we're traveling south now, and you hug State Road 9 over here, and yeah, you definitely can hear that traffic as we run next to this road.
A little bit of water.
Hey, look at that. A little bit of water down here. Tiny bit. But yeah, anyway, it was certainly nice to be on the other side where you didn't have any of this traffic noise and a little more of that road noise for a while, but we'll get out of it pretty quick here.
But also the trails here are a little bit more adventurous than over there. So
Yep. Yeah, a little more
nice.
up and down. It is. So, well, we'll continue on. All right, about 5.5 miles in today, and finally getting a peek of Norman Lake down there. Kind of hard to see through all the trees, but got Norman Lake to our left, and just over this ridge, you can't quite see it yet, but Miller Lake. We should be getting a better view of these very shortly. All right, just popped out to Gravel Drive. You can see all sorts of folks at the boat launch here for Miller Lake. Let's go check this out. Here we are, Miller Lake, trolling motors only. I believe all the lakes here at Chain of Lakes are the same, that it doesn't allow for any gasoline powered motors. Let's see here. Yes, Miller Lake. Late summer, definitely a lot of algae out here. Nonetheless, still very pretty on this gorgeous day. There you got the channel going over. Yeah. And here, if we look at the dock, the 9-lake challenge that Chain of Lakes is known for, this is one of those markers. That's Trail 5. So here we got a guy coming down with a kayak to enjoy the day. All right. All right, so before we continue on down Trail 4, you can get a view of Norman Lake here from the parking lot. You see here this generous parking area down here for folks. People putting in down here. Let's check this out a little more. All right, on the north side of Miller's Lake, you can just grab a little bit of that through the woods. Trail continues to be nice and narrow. Little bits of elevation gain and loss, twists and turns around. It keeps things interesting. I think the first hour or two for us was maybe a little boring. The last little bits here have been pretty interesting, so enjoying ourselves and continuing on. All right, the third lake here we got in our trek. Get some folks fishing out there. A little hard to see them through everything, but there they are. Trail continues to impress for northern Indiana here. All right, 6.63 miles in, crossing over a bridge where you have tent camping spots on Ravar Lake. Plenty of people down here using this today. Fishing. Got some canoes, kayaks down there. Here you got a channel.
Which lake is over here?
Oh, well, we'll look it up here. But you have plenty of campers down here. Plenty of algae in the late summer water. All right, let's continue down trail here. Something we wanted to mention here before we got too far down, where those two lakes come together, you go over that bridge. With all those campsites, there are some vault toilets there and facilities for folks. No motor vehicles down here, so it's a perfect little spot to bring a small group and tent camp and have access to almost the center of this chain of lakes here. So we're continuing down Trail 4 and getting ready to dive back into the woods here. Back on Trail 4. Look off to the north, you get a little shot of what is Mud Lake and Weber Lake. Hard to see through the trees, but it's down there. It's a very pretty view from this ridge walk we have here. So yeah, Mud and Weber Lake.
Sand Lake is really pretty. It doesn't have all the algae on it. We have a really good view of it right now. It's so peaceful. There's not really anybody on it at the moment.
Got some fish down there too. Really hard to see, but they're hitting the top of the water. But yeah, Sand Lake has definitely been
Prettiest one by far.
Yeah, certainly the prettiest one by far without all the green algae.
This is beautiful. Even the water's so. Look at the fish.
Those little bluegills. Look at all those bluegills.
Look at them. There's so many more.
Yeah, this is definitely a really pretty channel.
So quiet and peaceful back here.
Oh, just a little pocket from Sand Lake here. Very pretty.
Oh, look down there. Do you see him?
Yeah, that's a big old fish. It's a big old bass. How about that? All right. We'll keep moving. All right, we are on Trail 7 now from Trail 4. Heading around, and where Trail 7 had you going up and down, or Trail 4 had you going up and down. Trail 7 here just changes a bit. Walking next to a little ravine. All right, just crossed over the road on Trail 7. Looks like Trail 7. Yeah, let's see here. Right here we are. Just crossed over that road that comes in from the K house over. We're going to go up towards Bowen Lake.
Are you totally ignoring the willy worm?
I was totally ignoring the willow worm. Hanging out. Looks pretty cute. All right, Trail 7, we're going to go left. How are we doing so far today, Brittany?
Amazing.
Amazing day.
Yes.
It's definitely getting warmer outside.
Which is fantabulous. The warmer the better, even though you would prefer cooler weather, but nice hot days.
The weather forecast today is 88.
Perfect.
So perfect temperature according to Brittany. I think everyone else would agree that's probably a little warm, especially for the end of September, but definitely get a nice workout in. All right, tripped up here on Bowen Lake, another lake here that is pretty algae free. Looks pretty nice from here. Got a guy out there on the other side, really hard to see him, but he's fishing. Perfect day for it. So, yep, we're on the trail. Getting close to our 10-mile mark so far. We'll get up here and get an update shortly. All right, going past Finster Lakes. Looks like one lake to me, but it's pretty nice down there. Getting ever closer to the school here on Trail 8 now. On Trail 8 on Finster Lake. All right, still on Trail 8. We made it over to Turtle Pond. There's a couple turtles in there for sure. Covered in the green algae. Definitely pretty low. You can see where the normal water line is. All right, just a little further to the parking lot where we started to have some lunch. All right, here we are popping out of Trail 8, back to the parking lot in the school house where we started this morning. There's a better look at that school here. There's the Jeep. So, started at Trail 11, right up here, went around towards the east and back around again. Let's see, 10.38 miles so far, around 3 hours or so. Let's grab some lunch. All right, made it back to the Jeep, a little over 10 miles. And do you know what I get asked almost every day?
What?
Tom, what do you eat on a backpacking trip? Well, we're fixing to show you what we have, and it really depends on what you're after. So here we have freeze-dried meal from Mountain House. Very tasty. Usually about 10 bucks a piece. The Peak refuel meals are a little more, but even better. So you have that option, or our go-to has been ramen soup and a pack of tuna.
And don't knock it until you try it, because it is quite amazing.
That's right. It is really good. They have the jalapeno, the sriracha, and a few others. This is like $1.50 probably per meal, so a really good option. And we got a couple things out here. We usually bring some protein bars. Here's a 20-gram Pro protein bar, some Costco 28-gram protein bar. We got some energy beans from someone at work the other day. We're going to try these. Look like they're full of caffeine, which will be nice. And so how do we cook this? Well, we have some titanium pots with some water just getting ready to boil here. Some cheap Amazon special titanium sporks. You know, you can go to Walmart for a couple bucks and buy some cheap forks, or you can get these and they really do a nice job. So there, our water's boiling already. So what you got here is, you know, simple on the trail food. Rip out your thing here. Be careful. Sometimes these get hot, of course, because there's boiling water in there.
Shocker.
And dump this in there. So this one here called for 12 ounces of water. Seal that up. And so what else do we have here? We bought us this little cooking stove that goes on these mixed fuel butane propane mix blend things here. I think this is like 8 or 10 bucks at Amazon. You can spend a little more and get some of those jet boils and all that to work a little better. But yeah, this is how we enjoy some meals out on the trail. All right, sitting here eating our lunch, kind of talking about how the day has been so far. But something I wanted to mention real quick about these dehydrated meals is if you have a Sierra close to you, we found that they're quite a bit cheaper there than Amazon. You know, this one here is $8.99. I think if you're on Amazon, these Mountain House meals are 11 or 10, 11, 12 bucks. But the Peak refuels, $2 or $3 off of the Sierra stores. So if you have a Sierra close to you, go check it out. Today we're moderately enjoying the chicken fried rice. I think we really liked the buffalo mac and cheese we had.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic. The stroganoff's always good. Several of them are really good, and they're all. A lot of these are made in America too, which is pretty funny. But yeah, go to Sierra, go to Walmart, go to Amazon, find some of these. They're super lightweight. They're easy to pack, and a nice little treat on the trail. All right. Water's refilled. Lunch has been had. We are refueled ourselves, ready to hit the trail.
They're so cute. They're so talkative.
Yeah, so we just left. Just got on trail, walking this ridge. You got some geese down here. Just gorgeous section of the trail. This is probably the first trail, Brittany, that we've seen with just gravel, yeah?
Yeah, for the most part.
So, no, really cool down here. Geese are owning this little body of water right here.
Some right there too.
Yep, there's a couple more back there. So, yeah, very nice trail. Check out this bridge crossing here, another channel connecting all these lakes.
Hey, this is Paddle Trail Mile 1.
Paddle Trail Mile 1, yes. One of the Chain of Lakes State Park markers for your 9 lake challenge. You gotta take a picture of all those if you're on your boat. All right, well, we are not in a boat. We are continuing down trail. Let's see, we're on trail 1 and 6. I think this is where these two converge. We're going to go straight. Here we are. We're close to Duck Lake and Long Lake. That's where we are, that channel right there. So here we go. We're continuing. Hey, just popped off the trail here and found Dock Lake. Nice open area, some toilets just off the side there, but nice open area to put your truck. Very nice put in spot. And hey, nice dock out here. But let's get a good look at this lake. So, just took a nice look at the lake behind us here and getting back on trail, but it's just so peaceful back here.
It is. It is just refreshing and resetting.
Yeah, super quiet. We've seen a few people on trail today. Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot though, a couple groups. Yeah, you can see from this parking lot here, there was one guy out here. A few others at a couple other spots, but that's been about it. Now there have been a lot of folks pulling out with campers.
Yeah, so like yesterday probably would have been a lot more busy.
Yeah, I bet so. But they sure picked a nice weekend to come out here. Probably one of the last we're going to have this year. So little road walk for us. Not too far. We'll get back in the woods here in just a moment. So continue. Just walking along the trail here and come upon that channel. Kind of a nice, really cool view of that. You get to actually walk down to it. We've had very few opportunities to get down to the water level. Water is clear, very peaceful.
So pretty. What's down there?
All right, here we're kind of popping out back to Sand Lake, and there's that channel that walked in through. Boat launch. Get some folks down here putting kayak in. Our trail heads off to the east there. Let's go take a little better look at Sand Lake now that we can get a little closer. As you can see, this lake is pretty. A lot of folks out here enjoying it today. So we're going to continue on our journey.
I would say as far as the lakes go, like this is the most active and busy lake.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more people here, which is nice to see folks using it. So right there's our trail. Let's hit it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back on Trail 5 after a rousing hike through the parking lot over here around the beach. Super nice beach though over here with the beach house and things. But yeah, back on trail. It's nice to be off the parking lot.
Yes.
Now, you can see here, we're kind of an old paved trail here, not, you know, out in the woods conditions, but take what we can get. So
We'll get there.
making our way around Sand Lake here as we move on. What are we, 13.62 miles in for the day. So moving along. 2:45 in the afternoon, and boy is it getting hot. it's cooking outside, but we're still in the woods, back and forth here a little bit so far. That shade sure is nice. We were out in the sun just a minute ago, and man, is it it's a cooker.
It's toasty.
What is that? Big old squirrel back there. Probably not happy we're in his neighborhood. Oh, the chipmunks over there.
Yeah, they're up that tree.
Yeah.
There's been a ton of chipmunks today.
Sure has. And groundhogs too. These chipmunks and groundhogs eat pretty well around here for sure. So yeah. We're on trail 12 now. Just seeing the sign for 12. So yeah, doing really well. It sure is pretty in here.
It is.
Continue on. All right, so almost 16 miles and just about 1,000 feet of elevation gained so far today. And we were just talking about how it's nice to have a little bit of that. You feel like you're doing something and not just a flat Indiana trail.
Yes. This one by far has been better than the other two that we had just done. It gives you something that you feel like you're accomplishing at least a little bit.
Yeah, and now it's not the adventure hiking trail that we did. There wasn't the Shawnee Trail, the Knobstone, that, you know, thousands of feet. But for northern Indiana, that's been pretty nice to be up and down a little bit. So, yeah, definitely not super challenging, but just nice. So,
exactly.
Hopefully we get a few more feet here as we continue on. But so far the trail's looking very nice. Crossing over a nice little wooden bridge. Nice bench from the Albion Lions Club. There's a little water here. Not a lot, but it's a little bit. Just enough. It's flowing. There we go. That looks really cool. All right, so here we are. We have our going to the beach, or are we going on Trail 3? We are going on Trail 3. But the beach is that way towards Sand Lake again, so continue this way. All right, off Trail 3, on to Trail 10. You know, nobody quite mentions as you hike for a long day how swollen your body gets. And
Great big sausage fingers.
yeah, it's kind of funny. Every time we hike over 10 or 15 miles, you start to feel it in your hands. Things don't fit right. Can't hardly move your hands, but yeah, no one ever talks about that. So here we're talking about it. You're going to swell out. Probably dehydrated or something, I don't know. But yeah, we're making good time. 17.71 miles in so far. Only a few more miles to go. Back to the Jeep. A little over 18 miles in, and been in this marshy looking area for quite a while here. Some nice bridges going over. I believe these are coming into Chain of Lakes. You know, not really flowing today, but definitely a hot one though. So, moving on. Little trail going that way, and it appears to be the first set of stairs we've encountered on our adventure today. Yeah. Nice to see a set of stairs to walk down. It would have been pretty difficult to walk down this steep a grade. Sure is a pretty part of the trail. You know, for Indiana we don't have a lot of elevation. But it certainly goes up a little bit there. Trail is continuing to kind of wind through the woods here. Get remaining gravel or grass. Could last a little while. Easy walking. Yeah. Sure I'm enjoying it out here today. So, yes, we really need to give a good shout out to whoever here is at Chain of Lakes that takes care of these trails. We haven't seen one thing impeding any of these trails at all. They take meticulous care of all of these paths. They've all been very well marked. I mean, back there's a little bit of chainsaw action and all that, so great job whoever does that. Keep up the good work around here.
Even the grass paths are all mowed and upkept. And
yeah, very impressive. All right, don't mean to disturb you, Mr. Squirrel, but we've come upon Long Lake here. Beautiful dock that runs out to a gorgeous view of the lake. Let's walk out here and really check this out. All right, here we are on the home stretch. Just a little road walk right up here to the parking lot. And here's a car right in the distance. Not far to go now. So almost this whole trip we've been following these signs, Indiana Trail, with the blue arrows, and almost this entire outer loop has been consistent there of that. So I have a tip there. So, all right, this is the final little bit on this road to the parking lot. Pretty long road walk, huh?
a little bit.
Straight uphill. The school's in sight though.
Yes.
Hey, and there we have it for the second time today. Back to the school, back to the parking lot. There's the Jeep right over that way. All right, let's wrap this trail up. All right, well there we have it. We ended up at 21.41 miles, 7 hours, 20 minutes, 1,264 feet. Let's throw some stats up on the screen here. All right, well, there we have it. Thank you for joining us on the long loop trail around Chain of Lakes here in Albion. What do we think?
I thought it was fantastic. It was very peaceful. Gave you a little bit of a challenge. I mean, not too much, but definitely made for a very enjoyable hike. I will say, top tip, if you're going to do any sort of hiking, make sure that you've got the proper shoes on. I wore tennis shoes today. We started out and the grass was really dewy and wet, so my feet have been wet pretty much the entire day.
Yeah, we should have brought some extra socks and maybe an extra pair of shoes today. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's been a great hike. Really enjoyed it, and so glad you joined us on this adventure, and can't wait to see you on our next adventure.
Bye.